I'm gonna keep my head down.
Yeah, but it's not taking the glare from your glasses.
Oh, so yeah, if you.
I know I'm not gonna remember to keep my head down.
What they look like that.
I dropped my seat down, son. That's better.
It's kind of uncomfortable, right?
No, that's better. That's better.
Okay. Until you grab it.
Until I rear back
Yeah.
or come forward. Let me see.
You know you're gonna get excited.
For sure. I know Darrell gonna say something to set me off. You're absolutely right.
He said so. You might as well just figure it out right now.
Yeah, you're gonna be pulling off the lights, I guess.
So I might just go and pull them on off. Yeah, that's okay.
That only happened in the last 3 or 4 shows. Though.
Yeah, but these are new glasses,
Ah.
and they are plastic.
Ah.
That may be what it is.
Oh, the other ones didn't do that.
The other ones are glass.
Ah.
But these lenses are plastic.
But you don't want me to film it right now, right? Yes, I'll keep talking. Y'all can start talking to Facebook, she got it set up.
All
Okay.
right.
All right.
Start doing that right now.
Thank you.
All right, Facebook. How y'all doing? I mean, we in the game, man.
Hey,
You know,
we ready to roll tonight.
And we missed Facebook last week.
Sure did.
And we missed YouTube.
Sure did.
But yo, hey, we got y'all again today. You know, last week, Facebook, we did a show, and in that show was basically, you know, don't be scared to have a conversation with your lawyer.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, and we really want to build on that because, you know, successful litigation is all, you know, relative.
It's really a science, and the science begins when and I tell my clients that, hey, we want to get comfortable with each other, we want to feed off each other, and so you got to be open, and the lawyer has to be open as well to make that happen.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and start the show. So again, we would just kind of give you a heads up. You know, you guys get the early show. So, all right.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Talking Law with Darrell O'Neal. I'm your host. I got my main man with me, Jerome.
What's up, Darrell?
Man, another day in the neighborhood.
Yes, sir.
And, you know, we're talking live to Facebook. You know, we always want to. You know, they get the early show.
Are they our favorites there?
Well,
I don't know. They may be our favorites.
we can say that they're our favorite. I think that may be problematic to everybody else. So,
but we can.
We like them a lot.
Yes,
we like them a lot because they give us instant gratification.
Yes,
so,
absolutely.
We want to say if you have YouTube or Facebook, you can watch the show live.
That's right.
You also can watch the show live if you have Roku or Apple TV or Fire Stick. And then you can also, man, this is the big thing, man.
What's that?
If you go down and download the app, you can see it anytime.
Wow, Darrell.
So these are the ways that you can see the show. If there's something that we need to talk about, that you want us to talk about, man, email us, text us, you know, send us, you know, comment in the chats or whatever, and we'll respond to those.
And there they can even do snail mail.
You can snail mail, mail me a letter.
Yes,
yes. But the thing is, you know, we want to be available to you.
That's right.
And this is we call this the free availability, because if I got to get you in the office, I'm available to you, but it ain't no longer free.
But the good thing about it, though, Darrell, is that whatever the consultation fee is, it will come off of your tab.
Yeah.
And so the reason for that is because lawyers only have time to sell. That's all we got is time to sell.
Yeah.
So when you take up that slot of time, then we need to be compensated for it.
Right.
That's all.
Right. And look, so let's give our shout out.
Yes. I thought you were going to forget it. But
I almost forgot because I was getting ready to start talking.
Right.
Hey, welcome West Little Rock. Welcome West Memphis. Welcome Shelby County. Welcome Mississippi. And Mom, welcome to the great state of Missouri.
Hey, now the Shelby County also means city of Memphis as well, because you never tell them.
I never say the city of Memphis. I always say Shelby County.
I always say Shelby County.
You know what? Hey, I don't mean no disrespect. So the city of Memphis also.
Yes.
I'm going to start saying Memphis and Shelby County.
Memphis and Shelby County.
Yeah.
That's usually how we address it anyway.
You know
Because Shelby County is the larger area, but Memphis is right here in the heart.
Okay.
You know?
And us implants don't understand those that
You know what? I forgot
you know that dichotomy.
I forgot you were not a native. Nothing.
Yeah. So, and I've been here so long. I mean, I've been here, 23 years now.
Oh yeah.
So
well,
I might as well be almost.
Well, we adopted you.
Yeah. Adopt me in.
Yeah, you're part of the family now, Darrell.
So we talked last week about being comfortable with your lawyer, and look, I'm not suggesting that you and your lawyer go to lunch and hang out and all that stuff, because if you do, he or she gonna be billing you for that time.
Right.
So, but you need to be comfortable with them.
No question about that, Darrell.
How do you handle the dynamics between a client?
Well, Darrell, first of all, from the moment that we call it a lead first, and then they have to be converted into a client, and that's what during that conversion time is how we start to get comfortable with one another. We always started with a conversation, like, I want you to understand what it is that we're trying to accomplish, so we can walk this path together to get to. And bankruptcy is what I really do a lot of, and we call it getting to your fresh start. And when I can get my client comfortable enough to ask me questions and we feed off each other, I feel like I've been successful in getting them to that fresh start.
Here's the worst thing that happens in my practice, Jerome. When somebody schedules a consult to see me and they want to ask me questions about their current lawyer. That's always uncomfortable.
It's very much so.
Because number one is the rule doesn't allow me to give you conversations about it.
Yes.
So a lot of times I tell the client, look, I can't answer those questions. I can't do this. But what I always say to the client, if you...
Well, not client.
I'm sorry. What I always say to the person.
To the person.
Because they're not a client.
They're not your client.
They can't be my client because somebody else
That's
is client.
exactly right.
But what I always say to that person is, if you're uncomfortable with your lawyer, you need to figure something out.
That's right.
And because, number one, you shouldn't be uncomfortable with somebody that you're paying. I mean, I'm not going to pay you and then, tiptoe around.
What there are one thing too is sometimes I don't know where they get the idea that they can talk bad to you about another lawyer.
Yeah.
Because you know how they say, if you throw a rock, how they say it, if you carry a bone, you will. If you do something with the bone, you'll carry one. So in other words, just as soon as you finish talking to me, you're going to down talk me too as well. So I always interrupt that conversation because I do not want to hear it, because it just creates a bad atmosphere.
Well, and and here's where some of the things that people do when they're doing those conversations that becomes problematic. Somehow, I'm responsible for the monies that they paid that previous lawyer.
Okay.
And you say, how does that work?
Yeah, work that, man.
Yeah. Well, here's what they'll say. When I tell them what my fee is.
Oh, I see.
They say, well, I can't afford that. I spent all my money with the previous lawyer. So now they have tried to make their bad decision my problem.
Oh, I see.
Now, obviously, the first thing I tell them is that's there's a gazillion lawyers, and I may be exaggerating, but there's a lot of lawyers, and you can choose any one of them.
From what I know about Darrell O'Neal, that ain't gonna happen.
Yeah,
that's not gonna happen.
You have a choice.
Right. That's right.
The legal profession allows you to choose the lawyer that you hire.
That's right.
Here's some of the things that people say to me, and I tell them I don't really want to do that. One of the things they tell me is everybody I've spoken to is scared to sue so-and-so, so-and-so. I don't know what that means.
Darrell, I can count how many times I hear that.
Yeah. And I tell you, and I'm a hired assassin. If I'll sue your mama.
And what they're really saying is that they don't have confidence in the matter themselves, so they're looking for somebody to give them the answer that they want to hear. Because more than likely, someone has said, well, I don't think that's a good way to pursue this. And they say, like, are you scared of a certain entity because of the sides of it, and something like that? But they're just trying to get somebody to give them the answer they want to hear.
Yeah, you know what I always, when somebody says that to me, here's what comes to my mind. They're unwilling to pay. Because, you know, and people will say, you know, and you know, I do civil rights and I do discrimination. In a lot of my cases, that's what I do. My fee has been the same fee. My retainer fee for those types of cases are pretty much has been the same for about the last 15 years.
Okay, but that's because you've determined that the amount of time that it's going to require, that's what you need to be comfortable and get a good result. So
No,
that's good.
I've undercharged myself.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm not allowed inflation to dictate the numbers that I should be, you know, charging. And in fact, I've had some of my colleagues that are really good, you know, that do what I do, you know, and we know each other's reputation,
Right.
And we know what each other make. I had one friend of mine, you know, and I said to him, I needed him to be an expert for me to say that my fees were reasonable. He told me my fees were not reasonable. Billable hour rate was $4.25 an hour.
Wow.
And the judge said that rate was reasonable.
That sounds reasonable.
That sounds reasonable.
Yeah.
So she told me that and I had way more experience than that guy.
Really?
More trial experience,
Yeah.
more trials.
Yeah.
You know, without a doubt.
Right.
You know.
Right.
And his was $4.25. And I'm saying to myself, I'm charging $300 an hour, and you at $4.25.
At $4.25, and you just got out of law school.
He's got 20 years.
I'm just saying. You know,
Yeah. But I mean,
right.
he don't know what he don't.
Right.
You know, he ain't done what I've done.
I got you.
You know,
I
and
got
so
you.
I was like, because I see in his resume.
Right.
You know, I mean, I knew when he worked down here.
Okay.
You know, and you can look up anybody you want.
Right. Right.
You know, I mean, if you have Westlaw, Westlaw has a provision on there that if once you put like if a case is identified on the lawyer's name, you can click that lawyer's name and it'll tell you how many cases that lawyer has had. Now, you know, and it'll show you
The results.
the results.
I did know that, Darrell.
Yeah.
I did.
Now the problem is, because I clicked on mine, and it's missing a whole lot of stuff.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. It's missing a lot of stuff.
Oh,
So,
Darrell, I didn't know you could do that.
yeah. So it's got that stuff out there, and it's useful.
I was looking for you the other day when the TBI report comes out to see if I saw a case from you.
I got 3 up there pending right
Really?
now.
Yeah, I was looking for it.
Yeah, I got 3 pending right
Okay.
now, and I got another one that's getting ready to be pending in
Is
a
that
minute.
right? Yeah. I'm always looking for you because I know you do a lot of appellate work.
Yeah. I usually, Michael Floyd, when we go, him and I used to be in my CLE because I do the same CLE every year.
Okay.
And and in the CLE book, what they do is they identify every case that came from appellate courts to different courts. And every year in that book, I would have at least 3 to 4 cases.
Is that right?
And he was like, "Man, you need to be doing a CLE, But that's because I'm not going.
Right. Right.
I mean, I'm gonna, and that's the thing. You need to be comfortable with your lawyer, but what your lawyer will do, can do, and has done. I don't. If I tell you that it's going to cost you X to do this, or if I tell you that this is, because I tell people when I'm talking to them, and I've even got some bad reviews for this. When I talk to the potential client, the one thing that I do is I tell them the good, the bad, and the ugly, and then I ask them questions that will help me figure out the bad. Because the intent is when they leave my office, I want to be able to give them a roadmap of what the potential this case has.
I got you.
The good, the bad.
Sure.
You know, what the likelihood of success.
Sure.
And then the expense factor.
Sure.
You know, because again, if you don't do that, I think you're doing a client a disservice, or a potential client a disservice. So I'm not going to bring you in my office. I'm not going to be pumping you up like, you know, we going to rah, rah, rah. I'm not going to do that.
We got this, man.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. Because I really think that that's inappropriate.
Well, because you don't really know the outcome.
Yeah.
I mean, because all we can do is go by what has happened previously, and then you put your facts into those that same parameter, and it may predict what the outcome will be. But every case is different.
Every case is, you know,
Yeah.
and people will ask me that all the time. You know, what's your success rate? You know, what's your, you know, and it depends.
Yeah,
it depends
exactly.
on the type of case.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, if it's a civil service case, my success rate is X. You know, if it's an appellate case, my success rate is Y.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, if it's an employment discrimination case, my success rate is Z.
Well, certainly an appellate race would, success rate would be difficult, because that's what you're doing. You're introducing some nuance that was not a part of the law, probably initially, and so you're arguing that
you got to get some stuff done.
Yeah, the law is this, but I believe it ought to be that.
Right.
Yeah, so
Right.
I mean that's awesome.
Well,
because the law had been there for a long time, but now something has changed, and you're trying to show that I know it's this, but it ought to be that. And you got to get them to agree that that's the way it should be. Most time it is.
And here's the funny thing, you know, the law on churches was a certain way for years.
Right.
For years.
Yes.
I thought it was wrong.
I think I remember that case.
Yeah, I thought it was wrong.
Right.
I didn't think it was wrong. I knew it was wrong. I didn't think it was wrong. I knew it was wrong. But the black robe didn't agree with me.
Mm-hmm.
And I always tell people, if you don't like the decision of the black robe, you can go to the three wise men. And I don't mean to be sexist, but, you know, they used to be the appellate judges were all men.
That's right.
And so, and then you try to give a little biblical,
that's perspective. No question. Yeah.
So I would say, well, you need, if you don't like the decision of the black robe, you go see the three wise men.
Right.
Now, here's the thing: there is no analogy for the five wise men, which is the Supreme Court.
Which is the Supreme Court, right?
Or the nine wise men.
Right. Or the nine. Yeah.
So there's no analogy for that.
So the Tennessee Supreme Court consists of five.
Yeah.
And so we're trying to help you understand the different roles. And then the United States Supreme Court consists of nine. So yeah.
And so what ended up happening is, I didn't agree with the judge. I was able to get the client to see that understand why we should win. And we went to the Court of Appeals. And I be doggone, the Court of Appeals didn't agree with me.
Is that right?
It was a three-judge panel.
Okay.
Two of the judges didn't agree with me.
Okay.
And one did.
Okay.
The one that agreed with me said,
pretty much the same argument that you had.
I'm with you.
Right.
Darrell, I'm with you.
Right, exactly.
And, luckily we were able to get to the Tennessee Supreme Court on this issue. And it ended up being a 5-0 decision in my favor.
Wow.
And was one concurrence that one of the judges said we should even go further, which is what I wanted to do, go further.
Right.
But the other four said that's too far.
That's too far. Huh?
Yeah. I'm always going too far, man. But anyway, but the point of that is, when you're talking to your lawyer, ask those questions.
Yeah, I like that, Darrell. Yeah.
Ask what it is why am I paying you this astronomical money? Here's why. And I'll say, man, Google me. Look at my website. Talk to people. I mean, and if you don't like any of those things, go somewhere else.
Go somewhere else, yeah.
And I tell clients this. And I don't not but these are clients. I tell clients this: if I have a client, I represent them, and we get sideways, or after they've left me, they decided that I didn't do them the best service.
Right.
Or they start talking to somebody else and say, you know, you got screwed over. And I tell them, I said, look, I tell them even in our interview, if you're not satisfied with anything that I do, ever, you have a right to go to the Tennessee Board of Professional Responsibility. You know, because that is the organization that oversees
That's exactly
lawyers.
right. That's right.
So if you're talking to your lawyer and they won't return your call, the Tennessee Board of Professional Responsibility is the governing agency for lawyers.
That's right.
And again, in 20, let's see, this is in 22 years
This is
now.
22. This is 2022.
Yeah, so in 22 years, 'cause I'm 22 years now. In 22 years, I have never been disciplined.
Oh.
And I've been on my own from, 18 of, no, I'm sorry, 20 of those 22
20,
years.
okay, I hear you.
And
Yes.
I've never been disciplined.
Okay.
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 And I've had complaints,
Right.
because everybody
Right.
gets complaints.
Yeah.
Everybody gets complaints.
Everybody gets sideways.
Yeah, everybody's going to,
Okay.
because, man,